Hey everybody, it's Cody and you're on the channel Cody Tarot. So for today's pick a card, we are going to be doing finances and career of your future spouse. Someone made this as a suggestion in the comments and I was kind of excited about it, but I kind of put it on the back burner. I didn't think about doing it right away. So if you suggested this video, this one's for you. And yeah, so let's get into the reading. A few things first. I have a new camera and I have the equipment and stuff set up a little differently. So if the lighting looks different or if the sound sounds different, it's because I'm using a new camera and I think that camera setup has a new mic. So just if it sounds different, just let me know if it's like any technical things are of concern. I also know that my air conditioner's on, so I know that's kind of noisy, but it's like super hot where I'm at. It just gets really hot here. And I do have laundry going in the background because I have been procrastinating on doing my laundry. Anyway, so let's get into the reading. I'm gonna put some crystals here and we'll have you able to select crystals in a second. All right, here are the crystals for the groups. So to get right into the crystals, for our first group, we have Spirit Quartz. For our second group, we have Desert Glass. For our third group, we have Heliodor. And for our that was our third group. For our fourth group, we have Smokey Quartz. So take all the time you need to pick your crystal. You can pause the video here if you need to. Remember, there's no right or wrong way to pick your crystal. Just tap into your intuition, and the way that works for you is the right way to do it. So without further ado, let's get into group number one with the Spirit Quartz. Hey, group one, this is if you picked the Spirit Quartz. If that focuses, yeah. Spirit Quartz, such a pretty stone, very shiny. Lots of little glistening parts. Okay, so let's get into your reading about your future spouse, their career, and their finances. So to start this reading, I'm going to be drawing a Animal Oracle card for your future spouse, just to get a little bit of a feel for them. And then I'm going to be pulling some career cards and some tarot cards. I'm also going to be using Astro Dice today. They are a new addition to the channel. Astrology is not my strong suit, but I've been doing a lot of studying lately, so I think I'm just going to use them for divination, and see what comes up, because I'm very curious to use them. And I think they would work well with trying to figure out what type of career your future spouse has. So let's draw a card for them. Your future spouse, we have the Vulture. And I'm going to pull two of these cards. I have the career deck separated into a finance section and a career section, like a job section. So we're going to be pulling from the job section to get some ideas of what their job would be. So let's get... Once again, apologies if you can hear my laundry in the background. I don't know why I procrastinate with doing laundry, I just do, and I felt like filming this pick a card, and when inspiration strikes and you have laundry and you just have to kind of film it. Okay, so let's see, and then we're gonna get we have Rescuer and Health, and now we're gonna get some finance cards. And we have Legal and Comfort. Okay. Pull some tarot cards. I know it takes forever to pull out these cards, so if you guys want to, feel free to skip ahead to when the cards are all laid out. I normally don't do big parts of the reading, or really any of the reading, until the cards are laid out. So if you feel like taking that little slider bar and skipping ahead to when the cards are laid out, if shuffling is not your thing, then feel free to do so. But some people do like the card shuffling and all that stuff, so that's why I throw it in there. Okay. Actually going to remove that crystal because I need the space. Okay, now we have the Astro dice. They are labradorite Astro dice. So labradorite is one stone that I tend to use with like a lot of spiritual stuff and manifestation stuff and weather magic, believe it or not. So let's roll the Astro dice and see what comes up for aspects for this, your future spouse's finance and career. Okay, so we have the 6th house, Cancer, and I believe that is the North Node. Okay, so fun fact, I had to look up if that was the North Node or South Node because I get them confused with the directions and stuff, but that is the North Node. So let's flip over your tarot cards and see what you have. We have Death, the World. I'm not taking reversals today, so the World upright, the 8 of Wands upright, the 6 of Cups upright, and the 5 of Swords upright. Okay, let's get into a little bit, your future spouse and their career and all that good stuff. So with the vulture here, it's interesting because we have an air symbol first, which indicates that your spouse kind of enjoys their freedom, enjoys kind of their space, enjoys kind of the luxury of kind of being able to kind of live in more of a free-flowing way in their lifestyle. It's interesting because I feel like with their career, they have a lot of responsibility in their career and in their job or their profession. There's something about with rescue or in health here, something that's coming out to me very, very strongly is like paramedic or EMT or someone who is in emergency situations who has to take care of people's healths. Another career that they could possibly have with the 6 of Cups here could be something along the lines of like working in, and especially with the Cancer symbol, is working with childbirth or emergency situations with children. But there's something along the lines with health and rescuer. Is they're this type of person that kind of comes to the rescue in their career. They could be a firefighter. Now, they could be a police officer, but I'm not really seeing that. I'm seeing something to do with health or paramedics or something like that. There's something about working either in a hospital or in the health-related fields, something for a very few of you. For most of you, they're in the medical profession, I'm going to be honest. We have the 6th house right here, which kind of represents health and well-being, or at least that's how I'm seeing it in this reading. And there's something about along the lines of like, first of all, they stay really healthy themselves. But there's also, with the vulture card here, there's an attraction to the darker side of life, the more perverse twists and turns that the human psyche can take, and kind of the darker side of different things in life. So this person might be attracted to gore, or they might like be very comfortable with gore. So if they see someone who is kind of like bloody or disfigured or something like that, this does not faze them at all. They're very like comfortable with all the perverse twists and turns that the health world can take. Paradoxically though, they're very, very healthy. They take very good care of their health. And with the Cancer here, they're very, very nurturing. They have kind of this nurturing, caregiving mentality. I'm seeing a few different things. For some of you who are looking for a wife, this person is a very nurturing, caregiving type of person. This is the type of person who is like really quick on their feet, good in emergency situations, but they have a nurturing component to them. For men with the Cancer thing, I'm seeing that that shell, that Cancer shell that they possess, creates a strong sense of protection. One thing that's coming through here with the Five of Swords and the Six of Cups is this protection over the home life, over the family. So there's something that's like, even though they're like really busy in their career, and I see that they're very busy, especially with the Eight of Wands here, this can indicate like fast-paced action, movement. And so there's this sense of like them being really actually very, very busy. So one thing that's interesting is that no matter how busy they are, they always make time for their family. They always protect the home. They always protect the nest. They're very actually quite competitive in this sphere. So I definitely feel that this person is someone who is going to be protective over you too. And not just, it's interesting, not just you as a wife or husband, but you as a part of their family. I think that once you have children with this person, they're going to want to stay committed to you for the long run, for the long haul, because they definitely see that once they've committed and settled down to having a family, and for some of them, this is not having to do with biology. It's about their psychological commitment to the family unit. They definitely want to be protective and take care of that family at all costs, basically. And they're going to be even more possessive over you once you have children. I think before you have children with this air sign and this vulture, there definitely has this attitude of like, just kind of, they don't really care too much about different things in their life. They have this way of like understanding the dark twists and turns of the universe. And in that way, I think that's why they chose this career. They chose to deal with emergency situations that have to do with health and stuff, because there's something along the lines of, even like a dark sense of humor could be something that, you know, comes up sometimes with this person. And because they see how, not cruel the world is, but how like dark it can get and how like crazy things can get, because they've seen it all in their profession, they definitely want to protect and shield their children from that kind of thing. For others of you who are going for someone who's a little more on the nurturing, more feminine side, this version of this person is going to be dealing with childbirth or pregnancy or prenatal care or something like that. There's something along the lines of being in the caregiving profession. This person might be a nurse, and instead of the rescuer position, might work in a hospital. But with the rescuer position, I'm definitely seeing that for most of you, this person is like an EMT, emergency medical technician, possibly a firefighter. There's something along the lines of that kind of job, or it's almost like an emergency job where they kind of have to be on call at specific times, or they live a very active, fast-paced lifestyle. It's interesting because we also have the Cancer here in comfort. So one thing they really prioritize, your spouse, is the home life. So when they're off of work and they're at home, their mindset totally shifts. They become protective, they become nurturing, and they become very comfort loving. They're definitely the type of person who's going to want to sit, you know, with this woman, she has her cup of tea or coffee or whatever. They're going to want to sit with a nice cup of tea or evening beverage, right? And like watch a TV show in like the softest of blankets or something like that. It's funny because I definitely see that this person might, in a weird way, like with the vulture card here, they have like a feeling for the darker side of life. So they might actually like horror films or dark kind of dark comedies or something like that. But at the same time, with the comfort card and the children and the protection, I definitely see that they will keep the certain things that your children watch. They'll protect them from seeing they'll protect them from the harshness of different things. This is the type of person who doesn't really want their family to see what they do, because what they do is like so crazy. This person also, and you with this person, might have a sensitive child. And this sensitive child, you might have to shield from this person's line of work. On the flip side, I feel like this sensitive child that you guys are going to have is actually meant to be a spiritual healer, meant to heal people on a more holistic level or a more spiritual level with, you can think of this child as being really gifted with energy work or energy healing, like Reiki or something like that. This child you have might also have like a sixth sense or be pretty psychic. So keep that in mind that your child's going to be sensitive. I think this vulture person knows that because in a weird way, they're in tune with some of the occult aspects of life, but it's almost in like a peripheral way. It's like they're not really like fully in tune with it because we have Cancer here. They are a water sign energy, so they have some psychic gifts, but Cancers are not necessarily the most like just deeply entrenched in their psychic abilities, at least is kind of how I'm seeing it here. They have more of like a nurturing, empathetic type of thing. That's why I'm seeing one of your children coming out more sensitive and more of a healer than more of like a psychic, if that makes sense. One thing that's interesting with the Death card and the World card, with the World card, I'm seeing that this is their career. They do not want to change it. They have found their calling. They have found their passion. They want to help people get healthy. They want to either perform operations on people. They want to work with people. This person, I'm going to keep this pretty general because I know I mentioned the hospital, but the hospital is coming through very strongly with the health card. This person could also be a personal trainer or a dietitian or a physical therapist. Because the 6 right here is reminding me of taking care of your health and stuff like that. So there's just something along the lines of working in the health related fields. They really love their job with the World card here. They feel like this is their calling and what they're meant to do. With the Death card here, they went through a transformation to get to this point, right? They went through a transformation to get to this career. They probably had a career in some other field and it didn't work out for them. I'm not really seeing what that career is, but at the same time, it didn't really work out for them. And with the North node here, this is something they're meant to do. This is their calling, this is their passion, and they have achieved it by the time they meet you. It's one of those things where they're meant to work with sick people, they're meant to work with injured people, they're meant to work with unhealthy people and make them better. And that's kind of like something with the World card and the North node. It's their true passion in life. They're not feeling like they want to change their career. They know this is what they want. And I think with Vulture here, because they have an understanding of the dark psychological twists and turns, the human, it's not even like the human mind, because typically with the Vulture, I see this person is very in tune with the psychological aspects of like, you know, twists and turns in the dark corners of the human mind, right? And understanding those and being able to heal those. But Vulture here in this reading is coming out more, especially with the health cards, is seeing the dark and twisted side of the health related field. So for example, if someone kind of like twisted and broke their arm and their bones popping out and there's like blood and guts everywhere or whatever, not that guts come out of your arm, but you know what I'm saying. And basically like this person is like not fazed by that at all. They understand they're not fazed by it. They just know other people can be fazed by this kind of thing. So they know that like their role in life, because they're not fazed by this, it doesn't really affect them at all. This person I'm seeing as someone who doesn't take their work home with them. They don't come home and like lament about what happened at work. They have a more detached attitude about what's going on at work versus what's going on at home. So don't feel like they're going to come home and dump all this kind of dark, twisted stories on you or something like that. Like this person they kind of keep what's at work and what's at home at home. With legal, I feel like this person has had something happened with a legal or a lawsuit or something like that. This could in some cases be them losing some money or losing a position or something like that. I see this as something that happened in their transformation. So paradoxically, you know, legal is required in the medical field. Like there is a legal side to these things, but I'm seeing something with a legality of some previous profession before they moved into their career that they're in now. Something happened legally, and I know this is going to be general because it's an either or situation. Some of them suffered a financial loss and some of them got some money from this situation, but they were in kind of a legal situation. I know that's kind of vague and doesn't really have to do with like exactly what their finances were or are, but with comfort here, I can guarantee you and I can tell you that they have enough income where they're very comfortable. They can live comfortably and they can support the family, especially because I'm seeing the 5 of Swords right next to the 6 of Cups. And sometimes I see this 5 of Swords as a card of protection, of being very protective. So especially paired next to the 6 of Cups. So there's something about wanting to create a comfortable home, comfortable environment, and they make sure they have enough money to do that. So one thing you'll know with this person when you're with your future spouse, you'll be living very comfortably. You'll be having kind of the luxuries of life. This card literally says, though you're not exactly rich, you will be living comfortably. So I don't think you'll be overly extravagantly like wealthy, like living on, you know, like traveling on yachts or something like that, or, you know, going on like trips across the globe like every other month or something like that. But I definitely see you guys living very comfortably, having a very comfortable lifestyle. And with them, I feel like they get the best of both worlds, because the thing is they're able to be so committed to the family, because this air energy with the vulture, right? That's their freedom. That's their adventure. That's their freedom loving spirit. They get to explore that in their career. Their career is so fast paced and action oriented that they get to explore that freedom and that kind of like that side of them really like openly in their career. So basically they can come home and have that other side of themselves, that more committed side. One thing that's coming through right now with legal, they might actually be really interested in tying their finances to yours legally. And what I'm hearing for some of you is that they might actually make a lot more money than you make, but they still want to kind of like share their wealth with you. They don't want to do like a prenuptial or anything like that. Like they're fully ready to give all of themselves to you. They're fully ready to like blend their wealth with your wealth, basically. And they're kind of all or nothing when it comes to the family. We have that again with the Cancer here, with that merging sense and with that protective sense and taking care of the children. They're very much loyal and dedicated to the family. And it's funny because before their family even comes into play, they're an air creature. They love their freedom. They love to play the field, or they used to love to play the field before they meet you. So they definitely had this attitude of kind of like not really caring about too many things. And so when they get that family, that's like really important to them. And they definitely they will go above and beyond to provide for that family, to provide for your family, basically. Another thing that's coming through with the sixth house right here is that they might actually be very invested in the family's health and psychological health. So they might make sure you guys are watching really like with the kids are probably watching the most wholesome like movies or TV or something like that. They're really getting a good education at home, or they want to make sure they're in a good school. You know, they want to make sure that they're mentally and physically very healthy. One thing that I'm seeing with rescuer is they are kind of a rescuer in the sense that almost it's not just about their career. They're also good at rescuing others who are in tricky situations. So for example, they're really good with emergencies is what I'm seeing. And I definitely see that like something that might be a moment where you guys meet is they kind of like help you in an emergency situation, or when you're stuck or in a difficult situation, and they might come to your rescue and kind of help you out in that situation. That's going to be for a few of you, maybe not all of you. I'm trying to think if there's any other. Well, it's not really the purpose of this reading to see how you'll meet them or how you're going to meet them. We're mainly going to be talking about career. So I think I about covered most of it. Let me see if I can see anything else. For some of you with the Five of Swords here, with the swords kind of as they're collecting these swords, I feel like this person might be a surgeon or a doctor. And for some of you, they might have a little bit of an ego on them. They might be really good at what they do. So that's coming through for some of you. Most of you, this person is a rescuer, an EMT. They work in an emergency or a fast-paced environment. So they might work in the ER or something like that, or where they see a lot of emergency cases. They really love what they do with the World card. It like makes them feel complete. Like they wouldn't have it any other way. They're kind of in a way like an adrenaline junkie when it comes to their career. So it's really cool how they can like really lay it out all on the line in their job. And then when they come home, kind of adopt this whole different mindset where they're kind of just comfortable and cozy with you, basically. Yeah, with the North Node, that's coming through very strongly with the fact that like this is their true calling. This is their passion. This is their movement of growth. I feel like this person, I feel like their career is going to take up a big part of their life. But like I said, it kind of with that Cancer energy, when the family comes into play, they're really going to dedicate themselves to the family. So it's one of those things where they're going to have two equal passions in their life. They kind of have that destiny with their career, and they also have that destiny with you and the family. Now, if some of you are not looking to have children, this could just indicate that this person deals with kids in a hospital situation, or works with kids, or does surgery on children or something like that. So that could be coming through for some of you who are not looking to have kids. Yeah, I think that's about it. I really enjoyed reading for you guys. This pile was very interesting. I'm kind of excited about the rest of the piles now, because this was my first pile. And so I'm kind of excited what the other piles have in store. And I really enjoyed reading for you guys. I already said that. And if you like this video, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this video, please subscribe to my channel. We are always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, we're going to move on to group 2 with the Desert Glass. Hey, group 2, this is if you picked the desert glass. It's dark blue glass. Piece of glass right there. So let's get into your reading. All about your future spouse, their career, and finances. So we're going to draw a Animal Oracle card to start with. Last group went really well, and I'm kind of nervous about these readings, I'm going to be honest, and I don't know why I'm telling this group that, but maybe you guys appreciate openness or something. I'm just nervous about these readings because I don't do career readings often, so I don't have a lot of practice with them, and yeah, that's the main reason. The second reason is because I'm using a few new elements in this reading, new camera, sound might be different. And I'm also using Astro Dice in this reading, so that's really kind of fun. And it worked out pretty well in the last group, so hopefully it works out well in this group. Okay. Let's see what Animal Oracle card is coming up for your person. We have Swan. And then I'm going to be drawing 2 cards to represent your person's career. The deck I really split up. Oh yeah, just a quick thing. If you don't like the shuffling, feel free to skip ahead. In the shuffling, there's a lot of small talk. I talk, about random stuff. And then, but the main gist of the reading is when the cards are all laid out. So if you don't like the shuffling, feel free to skip ahead. I'd hate for you to, not watch a reading because you don't like the shuffling. So, but if you do like the shuffling, you're definitely more than welcome to stay. So for their career, we have networker and independent. And for their finances, yeah, so what I was saying is I split this deck into 2, into the finance cards and the career cards. So the career cards are on the left and the finance cards will be on the right. We have unstable and take action, yes. And we're going to draw some tarot cards. Oh, we have this one that wants to come out right in the middle. So we have High Priestess. Okay, we also have King of Pentacles. I actually wanted to come out there. So, and I think we're going to have to draw the other ones. Okay, and then we're gonna roll over I'll flip over the cards and then do the Astro Dice. So the rest of your cards, we have the Knight of Wands, we have the 9 of Swords, and we have the 10 of Swords. Okay, now we're going to flip over your Astro Dice. We're going to roll the Astro Dice to represent kind of aspects about this person, their career, their finances, different helpful things for the reading for me. And we have 9th house, Sagittarius, and Mars. Okay. So let's get into your reading. This is one of those readings, well, you guys know if you watch my channel for a while, sometimes I don't see everything right off the bat and I have to get into the reading to see more of it. But yeah, this is kind of one of those readings. I think more is going to come as I read, but I've got most of it down after just taking a quick look at it. So with Swan, this is one of those cards where my Swan card in my Animal Oracle card deck and what it represents to me is someone who is like very like physically beautiful. First of all, with the Swan card, this person's very physically attractive. Your future spouse is very good looking. And with the water emblem, it's kind of represented this person being like very intuitive. We see that again with the high priestess. The thing with the swan person is people kind of think they can see the full picture of the swan. They think they can see the full version of your future spouse. They're very beautiful. They kind of are on the surface like what you see is what you get. And when people kind of look at their inner self, they see the outer self as well. So they're looking at their outer self, right? But they're also, when they look into the person or they feel like that person's revealing themselves to them, they're also seeing the outer self as well. This person has a very good way of passing off the outer self as the inner self, if that makes sense. I feel like very few people know this person truly or deeply. And it's almost like with the swan card, it's interesting because on the surface, they seem very elegant and graceful, but underneath the surface of the water, they're like, I imagine them kind of paddling furiously to kind of keep moving through the water, you know? But on the surface, it looks like they're appearing to have no effort or making no effort at all. So this person makes what they do look easy. And really, it's really difficult for them. Like, it's really hard. They work really hard at it. They put in a lot of effort into their career, and they're kind of always kind of paddling, always moving, always trying to get ahead. We see that again here with take action. And the thing is, they look on the surface like serene, calm, peaceful, attractive, debonair. This person could be very, very charming. Another thing too with the Mars here, I feel like this person, especially with their career, they use their sex appeal to help them get clients. This is interesting because it's coming out as two things, right? Because it's also, I'm kind of seeing that another thing right here with the 9 of Swords, another aspect paralleled with the King of Pentacles, and I'll get to that in a second. But they might actually use their sex appeal to help get clients, or they might know that their physical looks are really a part of their game plan to get clients. With networker here, this person is going to be involved in a network. The last group, they had a more specific career path that we kind of saw, but with networker and independent, this could be really anything. This person is more of an entrepreneur. They take independent steps in their career, and they are very interesting blend because with networker and independent, on one hand, they work very well on their own, but their job or what they do requires lots and lots of people and to network with people. So on one factor, their actual work part of their job, they might do alone. So this could be, for example, like an artist who gets commissioned to do a piece for a building or something like that, and they're commissioned to do like a mural or something like that. They do all the work themselves as an artist, but maybe they have to network with others or use people below them to help them create the project or something like that. Another thing too is like maybe a designer or something like that, or someone who, and I'm using artist and designer as examples. This person could also be in like computers, or, you know, they could be like a salesperson or something, and they have to network with a lot of people and pitch this like sales idea or something like that. There's something about where they work alone or on their own, but they have to network with others in order to achieve their goals. So for example, this is kind of reminding me of someone who is an entrepreneur, or they're like an own business owner of their own business, but they have to work with other people to get their, like, for example, their network could be a vast network of clients, and they're kind of moving around from client to client, working with them one-on-one or something like that, and having kind of this vast network of clients that they kind of visit all the time. So that's kind of what I'm seeing with independent. This person definitely takes care of themselves, and especially with independent, this person, right, especially being right above the King of Pentacles, this person definitely is able to support themselves financially and take care of themselves. Now it's interesting because with that said, and the fact that they are quite successful at what they do, their finances are a little unstable. I feel like this is the type of spouse where you will probably need to be the one that has a more stable financial income, because I feel like this person, with their job and with the way that they get clients and stuff, it's one of those jobs where it's like the stream of clients is not consistent, if that makes sense. It's not like people need them like every month or so. It's not like you have the same client coming to them, you know, like, for example, maybe they have the example I'm using is like, maybe it's like July 5th, August 5th, or the 5th of every month they get a specific client, then the 10th of every month they get a specific client. It's not like that. It's like they could have like a bunch of clients, like 5 to 10 clients all within a month, and then 2 months later have like no clients, right? So this is the type of person who they have lots of ups and downs. We see that here with the roller coaster and the unstable card. They have a lot of ups and downs with their finances and their kind of financial situation in life. Now it's interesting because the King of Pentacles is coming across here. I feel like in their up moments, they make a lot of money, like a ton of money. And so the thing is, in their up moments, it's one of those things where they just have to learn how to either kind of save some of that money for their down moments, like saving for a rainy day, knowing that their income or what they're making is not going to be enough. They have to kind of save what their vast amounts that they're making for other future periods, basically. I see if they don't do this, with the 9 of Swords here, they fall into a pattern of anxiety, right? And we have this kind of like dualism with the High Priestess here, because the High Priestess card, the Chariot card, even a little bit with the Death card and the Moon card, but basically with these cards, there's a sense of duality. And so we have the black pillar and the white pillar. And it's interesting because I feel like on one hand, this is representing this side of the tarot cards and this side of the tarot cards. And so these cards, the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords, play off each other, and the Knight of Wands and the 10 of Swords play off each other. And what I'm going to get back to with the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Swords is that the way this plays off is that at one point they have like a lot of wealth. They're really successful. They're really, financial, and they have a lot of money. Their business is expanding. They're creating wealth. They're achieving wealth. Everything seems to be going fine. They're networking just fine. They have a lot of clients. It's fine. But then with this unstable card right above this 9 of Swords, if it ever gets to a point where their finances are empty, they feel a lot of anxiety. They might even have insomnia and nightmares, and they might not be able to sleep even if they're not working. They should kind of feel like, now's the time to rest. This kind of like their kind of conflict is that they feel like now is the time to rest. I should be resting, and like saving my energy for when I do have clients, but they can't get these worries out of their head. They have these kind of like sleepless nights where they kind of feel like, what if I never make money again? What if I never have a client again? And there's a few things that are going to help them kind of satisfy this predicament, right? And this is something that is coming across in this reading for you to know and you to kind of share with them when you kind of get to be with them. First of all, they need to learn how to save for a rainy day, right? That's going to really be beneficial. Yeah, and I think their intuition is going to help them with this, because I feel like they're going to intuitively know this. They're just going to, struggle with it, or it's going to be a learning process for them. Another thing too that's interesting, I feel like if they learn to roll with the ups and downs of their financial situation, they can realize a kind of peacefulness in it, basically. Because the swan is moving through water. So it's kind of one of those things too, where with the independent and the networker, and especially with the Knight of Wands over here, I'm seeing this person kind of surfing the waves of finances, right? Like surfing the waves, like catching the right, it's kind of like knowing the right time to act and the right time to be in the certain place, or the right time to be active, or have your business being prosperous and stuff. It's along the lines of like riding the waves of fate. Like when I'm making money, like collecting that money and then kind of saving it for a rainy day. And then kind of when I'm not making money, like start to think of plans and with take action. This is something that could benefit them too, I feel like, because on the flip side, when they're making a lot of money, they might get a little lazy, or they might feel like, you know what, I'm not going to work as much, or I'm not going to work as hard right now. I have so many clients and so many people are coming in. I don't need to take that extra client. And so they might actually undercut their momentum a little bit. And also when they're not working at all and they get really complacent, especially if you're also bringing in some income for that stability, they might get a little complacent on you, and they need to be kicked in the butt a little bit to take action on their own career. So yes is kind of a sign that they need to kind of get their butt in gear, basically. And with the Swan card, I see that they're definitely a hard worker. It's just that all their hard work is under the surface. No one sees it, This person might be the type of person who just seems graceful, relaxed, and at ease all the time. But really, behind the scenes, or when they're alone, they're doing a lot of work. Specifically, a lot of studying, I'm seeing, because we see this 10 of Swords here. And this card typically, to me, represents being betrayed by a group, or being kind of catapulted out of a group situation. But in this particular situation, and because we have the counter influence of networker showing that they are really good with large groups of people, this is really representing their thoughts weighing them down. Every sword is a thought, right? And they're kind of like putting pressure on them as they're dead in the ground, right? And so what I'm seeing here is, okay, this is where the dice come into play. With the ninth house is all about like higher education, expansion, your education, not really early education, but learning, expanding, traveling, learning new things. And with the Knight of Wands over here, we have this kind of energy as well, this momentum. I feel like this person, one of their hobbies is to learn new topics, learn new information. They're always studying. So I feel like what happens with them is they have these these epiphany thoughts. With the Sagittarius here, they're kind of a philosopher in a way. And with the intuition here, this is like goes hand in hand with kind of like their nature of who they are. This even could be something that is dealing with their career. They might have a career where they help people understand philosophical principles or help them using their intuition. They might even be like a psychic or, you know, even a tarot reader and stuff, because I'm somewhat seeing aspects of myself in some of this pile. But they might have some kind of like career where they're helping people with philosophical principles or something like that. And with the 9 here, they're definitely into expanding their mind, expanding their intelligence. And so what happens is that this hobby of theirs actually detracts from their energy with take action and the 10 of Swords. So basically what they kind of need to do is kind of take a break from this information overload every once in a while. Because what I'm seeing with the 10 of Swords is that these thoughts, these ideas, these concepts that they're thinking about and that they're studying kind of start to weigh on their mind, right? It happens a little bit with the 9 of Swords, although I'm seeing this mainly with the counterbalance to the wealth here with the King of Pentacles. But this Knight of Wands to me is representing Sagittarius in the most action forward movement like most possible with this situation. So I definitely see this person as philosophical, but their thoughts kind of weigh heavily on them. Something with the Mars card that's going to be very important in your connection, and something that's interesting because I'm seeing that this is something that's going to really click with both of you and kind of connect with both of you, is they have kind of like a sex drive that they're not aware of, right? So for example, if you're a really sexual person or you're a really passionate person and you're really intimate and you enjoy that kind of intimate moments, we see this again here with the Knight of Wands. This is kind of the card about like, sometimes this card can represent like a playboy or someone who's very passionate or lusty or romantic in a kind of like, you know, very physical way. And with Mars here, I'm seeing that their sex life is really important to them. And they might not actually be aware of it, right? But the thing is their sex life is really important to them in many different ways. So for example, the sex life is going to cure some of that insomnia. If they're ever like not able to sleep at night or something like that, them having sex in those moments or kind of getting into a like more intimate situation could really relax them before bedtime and kind of help them fall asleep, thus making them feel more well rested and able to take action the next day. Also, sex in general, I'm seeing kind of like helps them clear their head a little bit. It gets them out of their mind and into their bodies where they can kind of start moving and start making movement again. So it's funny because I feel like the only thing this person really needs to motivate them is kind of like, you know, a good sexy time, you know, like a good session, you know, and basically they're like able to get back on their feet and make those money moves, you know. It's interesting because with networker, I see that this person just deals with a lot of people, or basically has to be going to different positions or different places to like network with people for their job, even though all their actual work is independent. I feel like especially with Swan, with everyone kind of seeing this outward persona of charm and beauty and stuff with this person, they don't see the hard work that goes underneath the Swan, you know, pedaling its feet as crazy as possible. So a lot of people that they network with might find them kind of like magicians, kind of like, how do they do that? How do they kind of accomplish these things, you know? And so with independent, it's interesting because their work, how they work on with their stuff is very independent. So you might realize that at sometimes in like, when you're living with them, they might need to sequester themselves for a little bit to work on what they're working on. Or if they have an office, they'll go to the office or something like that just to kind of work and not really be around their clients, but to kind of work and get some things done. I also think that with independent being right next to the 9, higher expansion in education and kind of learning things learning different skills, learning different knowledge is going to really benefit them in their career and might even be something that is tied in with their career, right? I'm seeing that education and that philosophy is kind of tied in with the career, and this sexual energy is something that's going to release kind of like stress from them, kind of help them sleep better, help them get into more help them get into more action the next day. These are all things that with the High Priestess card, it represents this duality of kind of like this person, right? Especially with unstable, they kind of can swing from one side of the situation, kind of having like their passion and their understanding, their philosophical principles and their wealth and tons of money. And then they can swing to the other end of the spectrum where they have anxiety and they have a lot of their thoughts kind of weighing them down. So it's really interesting how these two sides need to be brought into balance with this person. I think once they synthesize these two sides of themselves and they're brought into balance, their finances are going to level out. They're going to become a little bit more stable. Their clients are going to be attracted to them more frequently and more regularly rather than kind of attracted to them only at specific moments, And I definitely think a few of these things are going to help, really with the Mars card, the sex is very important for this person. So if you are asexual, you probably picked the wrong pile. But like, yeah, if you're a very sexual person, this is probably a really good person for you. I feel like, interestingly enough, you might be very adventurous and kind of like not mind a little bit of risk, but this person, interestingly enough, is going to find a lot of safety and security in your personality. They're going to feel a lot relaxed. They're going to feel very relaxed in your presence, but in a very good way, because you're going to kind of stimulate them to get a lot accomplished in their life. Yeah, just real quick, a kind of a metaphor to use for this example is you want them to feel their sense of energy and channel it through their work, right? But sometimes their sense of energy gets channeled through anxiety and worry, right? So their actual physical energy, what they use to keep going, can kind of get channeled into worry or anxiety. And so the sex kind of transmutes that or pushes it back into their body, where their body can actually move and they can actually work, basically. Another thing too, if you pick this pile and you also work, or you're someone who's looking for kind of a more stable income, or you have a stable job, this might be a good person for you because they'll bring in a lot of supplemental income, but actually you will be able to like provide for most of the income for the couple or for the family with your stable income. So this is kind of a person who would work well with someone who also is working. And I definitely see their kind of money coming in as something that could like make you feel rich at times, and then other times with just your income, you guys could feel more stable and middle of the road or something like that. But with their money coming in, you could go on like big trips or big vacations or something like that. I'm seeing that again with the ninth house and the Sagittarius symbol. You guys might go on a lot of trips together. You guys might go on a lot of business trips together. I definitely think they'll want to take you along on some business trips with them and like go on a vacation while they're actually working. And specifically with networker too, they might have a lot of clients that now take this with a grain of salt, because I'm not seeing this in the cards. I'm just this is more of a speculation. They might have a lot of clients that are worldly or from other parts of the world where they have to travel and interact with those clients or take a business trip or something like that. So I definitely see some vacations in your future, kind of some romantic getaways and exotic locations and stuff like that. So keep that in mind. This person is more of an adventurous person. This person is a little bit more of a risk kind of being with this person financially, but I think the rewards are worth it. They're very intuitive. They're very philosophical. They're very like educated for the most part, self-educated. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this person, yeah, we kind of have the keys, or we covered the keys to kind of stabilize their situation a little bit. But overall, they're like a really hard worker. They just don't show it to other people. They're so super relaxed on the outside. And yeah, I think I'm going to wrap up this reading. I really enjoyed reading for you guys. If you enjoyed the reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to the channel. We're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, I'm going to move on to group 3 with the Heliodor. Thank you guys so much for letting me read for you. Hey, group 3, this is if you picked the Heliodor. Really cool kind of stone. So let's get into your reading. So first of all, I'm going to draw an animal oracle card. I'm telling this to every pile. If you guys don't appreciate the shuffling. You want to just get right to the information part of the reading. Feel free to scroll ahead to when all the cards are laid out, and that'll be kind of when the reading starts. And you can watch the reading then. But if you enjoy shuffling and you want to hear all the little small talk, then stay for that, and we'll get to the reading soon. So we're going to draw an animal oracle card for you guys to represent your person. This one wants to come out. We have eagle. Wow. And now we're going to draw... I separated the career deck into finances and actual cards that represented careers. So we are going to be looking at actual like job titles basically, and then money situations with them. So our first, we have parenthood, and we have the rebel. And we're gonna get their finances. If you guys can hear my laundry in the background, I apologize. We have mistakes. And we have, let's look one more card. And we also have patience. Getting some interesting messages already from this person, but I want to draw all the cards just to get the kind of full picture. You guys, my laundry's probably going to go off in like 6 or 7 minutes, so just keep that in mind. It just makes a little ding sound, like a little jingle. Okay, let's see. Okay, this card for sure. The cards are kind of being a little chaotic, and I'm getting some chaotic energy. I don't know if it's coming from your person or your person's career. It's kind of hard to tell at this point, but I'm gonna know that once the reading comes fully into the play. I'm gonna start reading the cards. Okay. I'm gonna flip over your cards now. We'll see what you have. We have Ace of Swords. We have Eight of Swords. We have Two of Swords. We have Three of Pentacles. And we have Queen of Swords. Now I'm gonna do these, I'm adding these new Astro dice to the channel, and this is our first time using them. So welcome these new beautiful babies. And we have 5th house, Aquarius, and Mars. Hey guys, my laundry went off when I was overlooking the cards, so I took care of my laundry, and I'm back for the reading. Let me take a little bit more of a glance at these cards, and then we will get into it. Okay, so this reading is quite interesting because it's a little chaotic, but I think I'm making sense of it. There's just a lot of components to the whole thing. So first of all, Queen of Swords and Aquarius are coming out. That's kind of indicating that your person has a lot of Aquarius placements. And they're kind of, in a way, this person might be quite political, or they might have like certain views on politics. And with the rebel here, I'm definitely seeing that this person in one way or another could be like, especially with the burning newspaper in the background, I'm kind of thinking of the news or something like that. This person probably doesn't pay attention so much to what the news is saying or what like people are saying on TV, but they pay attention to their own things that they've read or studied on their own terms. Basically, they don't conform to what other people want them to be. Now, this person's quite interesting because with parenthood here, I am seeing they possibly could work with children. And I feel like with whatever regard their career is in, they're kind of like a parent to these kids that they work with or something along those lines. And with rebel here, they're really good at working with rebellious kids. That's for some of you. For others of you, there's kind of a theme here where there's something with their career or finances where their money came from their parents that they kind of rebelled against, but then they kind of, in a way, they realized their mistake and made amends with them and got money handed down from them from their parents. But for most of you, it's going to be this other situation. They're going to work with someone, or even their coworkers or something might look at them as like parents. You know, they might even call your spouse like Mama Bear or Papa Bear or something like that, or some kind of nickname indicating that they are like a parent over them. This person might actually take care of people in that way. With eagle, you have an air sign. Eagle is kind of the master animal of like the highest hierarchy of the animal before it enters into the spirit animals, right? Representative of all the chakras. So this eagle is definitely someone who has like mastered themselves. They are a leader. They are responsible. They have their freedom, but they have their freedom in the most elegant way. Another type of career this person could have, what we see here with the Eight of Swords over here, this kind of like, they could have a career where they're dealing with people who have body image issues, or they themselves work with people who feel victimized in some way. It's quite interesting because I feel like this person works with a lot of people, or there's a lot of energies that this person works with. And it does seem like, it's funny, I mentioned psychologist as just a counterexample to the first group because it wasn't they weren't like a psychologist type. But this person very much feels very psychologist focused. Like there's so many things in here that are, or like this person seems like a life coach or a psychologist or a teacher or something along those lines, because I'm seeing so many different components. There's a lot of different elements, right? That this person, basically whatever their career is or whatever they work in, they have a lot of variety in that, right? So like, for example, we have a lot of elements that are disparate, right? Like parts that don't really connect to one another. So we have parenthood where they probably work with parents and children, family dynamics. We have the rebel where they work with rebellious people. You know, this person, although they might be political or have certain political viewpoints, I see that they always go with the flow of their conversation of who they're dealing with, basically. With patience, I see that this person is very patient and kind. This is where the therapist kind of example is coming into play. I feel like this person would have a lot of patience for someone who is emotionally upset or going through some kind of emotional thing. With the Eight of Swords, I'm seeing body image issues. I'm also seeing victim mindset. This person deals with people who have victim mindsets. I see this person brings a lot of clarity into other people's lives. And with the Two of Swords here, I feel like this person helps people make decisions or something along the lines of helping them make decisions and helping them follow their intuition to make those decisions. Now it's interesting because this is the card that's coming through that's kind of making me think that this person is not necessarily a complete therapist type and works more well with groups. So this person could be a life coach or a motivational speaker for groups of people or teams of people, and they kind of get people to coalesce or work in groups together. It's interesting because I feel like this person is the type of person who could have many different careers or many different options for careers, or maybe has their foot in a whole bunch of different types of careers, or maybe throughout their life they've had many different careers, or they might even cycle back to previous careers that they've had at previous points in their lives and start those over again. With mistakes, I feel like they definitely help people with mistakes. And with the fifth house here, there's also an element about creativity, about helping people who are creative. So there's components where this person could be, this is one of those situations where this person, I'm just going to kind of read their general energy, and there's just so many different careers this person could be. Or for most of you, it's like they've had many different careers over their lifetime, right? So there's just kind of like an element of like variety, right? Variety is the spice of life. And that's interesting because we have Aquarius here, and I know a few Aquariuses, right? And they have their foot in a lot of ponds, or I don't know what the expression is. They have their, I try to use this expression all the time, but it's like, if you guys know what this expression is, leave it in the comments. It's like you have your foot in a lot of doors, or you have your foot in a lot of pots, or your hand in a lot of cookie jars, or something like that. I don't know what the expression is, but basically they have a little bit of themselves in every other little thing around them. So for example, they might on one hand work with rebellious teens. On the other hand, they work with parents. On the other hand, they're really creative and they create a lot of like beautiful artwork or poetry or paintings or something like that. On the other hand, they really like either work with other people with their mistakes or analyze their mistakes. On one hand, they're a very strong leader, right? And they like their freedom. And then at the same time, they're a very strong team player. So this person is very multifaceted. They kind of do a lot. They kind of do a lot of different things all over the place. It's interesting because I feel with this person with patience, their money comes to them slowly over time, and they have to be really patient with the financial stuff in their money, and they have to be very cautious in case they make mistakes. This is someone who, it's interesting because the money cards are coming out as like attributes. At the same time, they're coming out as aspects with their money. So on one hand, they learn and help other people with their mistakes and learning how they make mistakes and stuff. And with the patience card over here, this is someone who actually has a lot of patience for building for the future, for building a secure financial abundance for themselves in the future. I see with the Eagle card, they're just such a powerful person. And I definitely see that this person takes care of themselves. Like this person knows how to like make money if they need to. That's one thing that I'm seeing. But what I'm seeing too is with certain mistakes and with parenthood here, there's just some elements where there may have been a struggle with their parents about something. Maybe they had like an inheritance they thought was going to come through and it didn't come through or something like that. Or, you know, they kind of rebelled against their parents. And so because they rebelled against their parents, they weren't able to get a certain amount of money or something like that. But mostly with this person, there's kind of a storyline taking place, right? Where on one hand, there could be a rebellion with their parents, but on the other hand, they might work with people who are actually rebellious. You know, they might work with family dynamics. This person is just very much coming through as more of like a therapist type or a psychotherapist or a psychologist or something like that. This person could also be a social worker. On the other hand, they could be someone who works with people with PTSD, with creative arts, like helping PTSD, post-traumatic stress patients, like deal with things with like using painting or singing or music or something like that. And with the Ace of Swords here, this person's very brilliant. They have claircognizance, which means they just know things. It's funny that the newspaper is burning up, right? Because I feel like this person on one hand doesn't need to read too much to just know what's going on in the world, right? And it's kind of with the Ace of Swords and the Queen of Swords over here, they have on one hand their knowledge of what's going on and their truth within them. And on the other hand, they have the ability to go with the flow of the situation. This really helps them in their career because on one hand, they know the truth of the situation. They know the truth. They know the correct answer. They know the epitome of what is right and true, right? But then at the same time, it's like they are able to work with someone else's viewpoints and adapt to someone else's viewpoints, you know, and kind of work within their storyline to kind of get them to come to that viewpoint of truth. With the Mars energy, I feel like this person is very assertive and active and active with their career, basically, especially with that Eagle card. I mean, this person is a leader. This person is definitely a leader. And with Ace of Swords, this person could be a thought leader. This could be someone who is like leading people by example of the way they think and their opinions and ideas. They could be very inspiring to people on a very intellectual level, right? Not necessarily motivating them to stimulate them into action or a movement or even to make money of themselves or something, but just to think differently, just to kind of think in a different way. That's why psychologist is coming through very strongly for a lot of you, for this person, your future spouse, because I'm definitely seeing with this kind of Eight of Swords, people who feel stuck, or like especially with the Two of Swords, people who feel like they're in an impasse in their life and they can't make a decision, or they're stuck weighing these anxieties in their life. They come to this person for clarity. They come to this person for movement, for action forward. This person really is good with getting them in tune with their intuition and getting them to take a step forward. Definitely this person seems like a life coach or something. Now it's interesting because this is the card that kind of is sitting outside the rest. And so it's also a teamwork card. This is kind of the Three of Pentacles represents teamwork and kind of working with the team. This guy's kind of reminding me of someone who's being commissioned for a project. So I definitely think your future spouse could be someone who is kind of gets commissioned for specific tasks or something like that. But they also, I can see them working for a large organization, like under a large organization where they kind of are taken care of by this organization. You know, I feel like this is kind of the situation where going into finances, even though these don't really talk about it, but Patience kind of talks about it, there might be a really strong pension plan or something like that, or a really strong retirement account they can invest their money into or something like that. So Patience means that a lot of money is coming to them at the end of their life, not necessarily throughout their life or in the mid part of their life. I definitely see with the Mars here, they have to work really hard to get ahead. And also with the Mars here, this person has a really strong sex drive. I feel like they're very adventurous and creative in the bedroom. And they also kind of are, with their creativity, it's one of those things where I think this is also a passion project of theirs, is their creativity. They like to be creative because it stimulates them energetically. It kind of, creativity and creative projects is something that with the Mars energy here stimulates them for one, to like create new ideas and new concepts and ways of thinking about things. And on the other hand, with the kind of stimulation here, it creates energy to actually do their work, to actually power through and push through their career. I definitely think that with your future spouse, they're very satisfied with their life. Another thing that's coming through with the Two of Swords here pointing to, that's with the Two Swords pointing to the Mars symbol and the 5 symbol, or the 5th house symbol. It's kind of reminding me of like the idea of creativity and kind of, in a way, confidence coming through their creativity or their power to move through their creativity. On the other hand, with the Two of Swords here moving over to the Three of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords, I see them helping people get out of their isolated victim mindset. Because if you look at this woman, there are swords and she's trapped, and yes, she's bound, so she's kind of in this situation that she's trapped in. But if you look in the very background over there, there's like a huge castle, and it's like a city castle, right? Like if you can think of like what's that castle in The Lord of the Rings, where there's like a whole city inside this castle and they have to barricade it from the outside stuff. Basically, this person's beckoning them to join. Like, if you look at these people, it's like they're inside the castle, right? So this person is one of those people who kind of gets people, especially with the Queen of Swords, to join the group dynamic, right? To join in with the teamwork of the rest of the world, to get people to work together and achieve a common goal. I see this person is good with working with rebellious people who feel on the outside of society, who want to rebel against society. They're good at getting them to achieve the common goal and to get them to work as a team. People who are, and that could be the team of family with parenthood. This could be something about getting them to work better in the team of a family. So for example, the family unit is a team. So it's something about like groups is coming through as well with this person. So with the Queen of Swords especially, because I see the Queen of Swords as she can be political, but she's definitely someone who's following the trends of the time, and she's kind of rising above the kind of thoughts and opinions of everyone else and kind of showing the clear way forward. So I definitely see that on one hand, they help people who are isolated get into a more team mindset. And on the other hand, they just have an overall developed sense of teamwork in general. Aquarius, I think, is the ruler of the 11th house, I believe. And that has to deal with groups of people and charity organizations and large organizations. And so I definitely see that this person, with the Three of Pentacles, is like in a large organization. They use a large organization or the teamwork with others, but at the same time, they're able to get people to work for this team. So whether it's the family team, like a parenthood team, whether it's political team, like leading an organization in politics to kind of come to a political viewpoint and kind of get a lot of people on the same page, This person could be a great spokesperson, a great speaker, a great public speaker, but for the most part, I'm seeing they really get down on people on a psychological level. They're able to get to people on the individual level to get them to integrate with the group and to become a part of the group. They have this way, like I mentioned before with the Queen of Swords. I'm just going to reiterate it again because it's kind of important. And the Queen here, she is holding the sword of truth, but she's also with her hand pointed out there and the wind blowing in that direction. She's showing the way that everyone's moving. She's showing the way of the group. She's showing the best way forward into the future. But she still has her truth, her opinion, her Ace of Swords, her structure basically. And it's interesting because I see this kind of passing through into the more thought realms, into the more practical physical realms as far as the teamwork goes. The Patience card is just making me feel like this person has a very strong set of patience, I guess. They have the ability to wait a long time for people to integrate. They have the patience to patiently listen someone out, hear someone out, and wait for them to finish what they need to go through or their experience, right? With mistakes, I feel like they help people who have made mistakes in their life. So honestly, life coach is just coming through really strong. I know I've said it already, but life coach is coming through really strongly. Someone who is a team facilitator, like a manager, is coming through strongly. A manager that actually motivates people on the individual level. This would be the manager that kind of talks to people one-on-one and figures out their individual psychological concerns and then makes them feel part of the group or the bigger group. Also, another career this person could have is family therapist, right? This person might be a family therapist with parenthood here, or might actually teach classes on parenting or work in a kind of career where they are helping parents become better parents. So for example, this just came in for some of you, is this person could be, what's that organization? I can't think of the name of the organization, but they're a group of people that help parents with their kids who are coming out of the closet or something like that, or they're dealing with being gay and the parents are dealing with that. I think it's a PFAP meeting. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna butcher this. But basically it's they're helping parents with kids who have issues. And with Rebel here, it's they're also could help family dynamics with kids who are very rebellious. So maybe kids who are on drugs or who have a mental disorder like depression, anxiety, or even schizophrenia or something like that. There's something along the lines of this person helping parents work through their issues with their child and helping the children and rewriting those people's mistakes of their mistakes of the past and kind of helping them get over those things. I definitely see your person as more of a humanitarian. We see that again here with Aquarius, and they definitely have a passion for life. They have a passion for life and a logical consistency in themselves. And the beautiful thing about the whole picture, basically, and I'm going to wrap up the reading pretty soon, but the beautiful thing about this whole thing, and this mistakes card is coming out really strongly. It's they're here to help people learn from their mistakes, and they're here to help people realize that you can make mistakes, but you can still live a fulfilling life even if you've made mistakes. Your mistakes don't define you. And I think this is really something that this person is very forgiving. They have a very forgiving attitude to those around them, and they really just want everyone to work together as a team, basically. Also, based on the finances, I'm going to be honest, I'm not getting too many things about finances except for the patience thing. On one hand, this person's very patient. I think that's why their finances are going to come later in life, through this organization that they work through a retirement plan or some kind of pension or something like that. They're going to get more of their money then. Or maybe when they get more further into their job as they get older, they get raises as they get older, but not necessarily when they're younger. Because what I see here with patience is that this person has learned patience because of their financial situation. They've learned patience because finances have not come easy to them. So I definitely feel like this person is definitely gonna wait and be in the long haul for the situation. So for some of you, you might actually have to have a job while you have this spouse, or while you're with this person. You might actually also have to work yourself. unless you guys want to live on kind of like live off the land or something, like live kind of frugally or something like that. But this person also with Eagle and the Three of Pentacles here could be in a managerial position, which means that they could be making more money than the average Joe. They could be someone's boss. They could be a leader. But mostly I'm seeing like therapists, psychologists, psychoanalysts, something like that, helping people out of victim mindset, getting them to work better with others, working with family dynamics, family therapy, something like that. So yeah, that was your reading. I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. I post picky cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks, and we're always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. So that was not the last group. The last group is coming up. But thank you for letting me read for you. We have group 4 still ahead with the Smokey Quartz. Hey group 4, this is if you picked the Smokey Quartz. So very dark stone. I always want to get Smokey Quartz that's kind of that kind of faded Smokey Quartz, but I can never find it. Or I'm never attracted to it when I go to gem shows. The kind of Smokey Quartz where it's like somewhat see-through, where it's like, it's not like totally pitch black. It's like there's some, you can see the smoke basically in the Smokey Quartz. But this is the stone of darkness. So this is the ultimate Smokey Quartz. So yeah, let's get into your reading. So about your future spouse and their finances. I'm going to be shuffling on camera today. So if you want to skip the shuffling, you can skip to the point where all the cards are laid out, and that's where the reading's mainly going to begin. I'm trying not to talk about too many things except small talk in the intro, but if you want to just get to the gist of the reading, you can skip ahead. If you enjoy the shuffling, stick around. Feeling like a good shuffle for this group. Okay. Feeling this card. We have Scorpion. This card has come out in another reading recently, actually. Okay, and now we're gonna get some career cards to represent their career, what their career could be. Then we're going to also pull some finance cards. We also have tarot cards, and I'm also introducing astro dice on my channel. I finally got some astro dice, and I've been studying my astrology, and yeah, I think they're going to help with divination. Okay, we got, with this person, we have Beauty. And we also have Student. And then for the finance cards, we have Denial. And we need one more finance card. And we have the people you spend the most time with shape who you are. Let's see. I'm going to draw some tarot cards to represent this person. These tarot cards are kind of getting stuck. So this person might actually have felt stuck in their career, in their life. So let's draw. And then I also have the astro dice, like I mentioned. So these are labradorite astro dice. I'm very happy with them. Let's see what you guys have. We have first house, Sagittarius, and Venus. And on the flip of your tarot cards, we have King of Wands upright, Three of Wands upright, Queen of Wands upright, lots of Wands energy, 10 of Wands upright, wow, Wands galore, and Queen of Pentacles, the odd man out. Okay, so let me take a look at this and we will get into the reading. Wow, it's just like I was looking over this reading and oh man, it was a trip to look over these cards because I was having a lot of epiphanies as it was happening, and then it all just kind of clicked into place. Like this reading just fully kind of clicked and I got the full picture of your future spouse. So let's get into this reading. So first of all, with Scorpion, we have a fire symbol up here, and we have a lot of Wands card energy. So there's a lot of fire energy. We also have Sagittarius in the first house over here. There's a lot of fiery components to this person. Your future spouse is very impulsive. They actually have kind of like a wild side to them, but they're also a very hard worker. The one thing I can say about your future spouse is they're a man of many faces. Not so much like typical of like our stereotypical concept of a Gemini, where, a Gemini is two-faced or something like that. But this person has a very multifaceted personality. So for example, we see this a few places in the reading. So we say, with the people you spend the most time with shape who you are. This is kind of a key component to their personality and the way they succeed in their career, right? This type of person, the more people they can put themselves around that they admire, respect, and find fascinating, the better their career is going to be. Because what we see here, and we see specifically with Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, and King of Wands, there are three people in their life specifically that are very important to them, that they keep close to them, because what we're seeing is this person is kind of a student of human character in a sense. They're a student in other ways too, but basically this person, like one career for like right off the bat that I could tell you this person could be is like an actor or a model or someone in the industry where putting on a face or a mask is important, or like presenting themselves a certain way is important. Because what we're seeing here is this person studies other people, studies the characters of other people. Who they spend the most time with shapes who this person is. This person with the Venus symbol right here, this person has had a lot of love relationships, and there's a whole component here of like having like specific love relationships that define their identity, basically. There's another element here with the number one, right? With the first house kind of representing identity and representing yourself and the body and who you are, right? There's something about their sense of identity or who they are that's so reflected in other people. Beauty is coming up here because this would be an excellent career for them, and a career that I think many of them come into, because with beauty and with fashion and the fashion industry, you can create whatever kind of look or illusion you want to. It's all about illusions, right? It's all about kind of presenting what you want for someone else to see and then them seeing it, right? They can take someone who is, they could make turn anyone from like this person, and your spouse in particular, could take any type of person and figure out how to work with their character traits to make them into someone else, right? And they kind of are also good at that themselves. So there's the student card kind of takes on a double meaning, right? Where they can actually teach and learn from other people. So they can teach people kind of like how to be certain ways with themselves. They can also learn from other people. But first and foremost, this person is a chameleon, right? They're very good at presenting an image they want to present. This person is very aware of their image. They're very aware of how they're presenting themselves, and they collect these personalities from people in their life. It's interesting because I feel like with the people you spend the most time with shape who you are. Something with them that's particularly of interest is that the people that they love or the people that they really care about start to create their personality, right? Their personality kind of, like, for example, say they have a King of Wands buddy, a Queen of Wands friend, and a Queen of Pentacles girlfriend. So basically, like, when they hang out with the King of Wands person, because they love them so much and because they're so fascinated by their character, who they are, when they leave hanging out with them, they act like that person. They become that person. They have a way of impersonating other people. They have a way of absorbing the qualities of those they admire and emulating them in themselves. So this person is interestingly a student of human character, right? There's something about them being able to study the human being and the human psychology of different people and exemplifying that in themselves. This person could be similar to group 3, somewhat of a psychologist or a psychotherapist, but more so I'm seeing them in entertainment or acting or presenting different personas. I see this person as being like a, very like Meryl Streep vibes as far as like how good their acting abilities are and being able to kind of like maneuver with different appearances and different kind of vocal intonations and stuff like that. With number 1 here, whatever their career is, this ability is paramount in their career, right? Studying human characters, exemplifying them, and creating an illusion of being someone else. A lot of you, this person's going to be an actor. I'm going to be honest, this person is an actor, and they really work with their own self-image and their sense of self. Now, I see here that with denial, there's a few things coming through with finances for this person. I feel like this person in their life is blessed with a fortune as they go through life. I'm seeing this again here with the Sagittarius kind of representative and the Venus card. This is just something that if they've discovered this passion in life, they're blessed with this sort of fortune. And I'm seeing with also Sagittarius and this 3 of Wands that they might actually travel a lot. They might travel a little bit. But with denial, there's a few things here denial is representing. Denial is representing like a few things this could be, basically. Denial is them denying their own essential self. So this person is always going to be in the character of someone else. They almost have to deny their own identity in order to become someone else. The other thing too is with denial, they might make so much money that they start refusing paychecks or they start refusing money as people want to pay them and they kind of refuse the payment from them, or they kind of are very modest in that way and they don't want to take the money of someone else. They have this way of kind of, also with denial, they have a way of living with less. They can live with not that much money and be very, very happy. Scorpion here, they kind of have a stinger that comes out every once in a while. They kind of have this kind of assertive, aggressive side to themselves where, yeah, with denial, it's almost like this Spartan attitude where they kind of are in this position where they like want to see what they can live without, what they can do without, which kind of contradicts them a little bit because with the Venusian abilities here, there's something about sensual pleasures being very important to them. Yeah, so what I was saying with the Scorpion and the stinger, this person has a little bit of a bite to them. They're a little impulsive and their aggressiveness comes out in little impulsive ways. It's interesting, it's especially paramount if they spend a lot of time with other aggressive people, they themselves become quite aggressive themselves, But if they spend time with people who are, for the most part, like more docile or something, this aggressive part of them can go into the background and they can become more of a polite public figure type of vibe. We see that again here with the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, the 2 leadership court cards of the deck. There is something very feminine about them with the Queen of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles, but then again, we have the King of Wands representing that they do have this masculine side to them. They do have this kind of, The thing is, they have a lot of sides to them. They can really be anyone they want whenever they want. This is kind of the gift that they have. They're a natural born actor. They're a natural born performer. They really know how to manipulate their own identity to get different things in the world and get different things in their life situations. This person could also be, for some of you, I mean, actor is the profession that's coming to mind, but this person could also be a secret agent, someone who works for the government as an undercover cop or knows how to play different characters and kind of get into different situations and work with different life scenarios to kind of fool or trick people into kind of getting certain information for their kind of organization. This person is also just in general a really hard worker, and these wands also represent all the people and the character traits they take on. The more people they spend time with and the more people they collect as friends, the more multifaceted their personality becomes. This person is pretty much an extrovert as far as the fact that like their extroversion kind of helps them in their career. With the Three of Wands here, I'm seeing this card represented as travel, especially with the Sagittarius. They might travel a lot for their career. So for example, if they're an undercover cop or something like that, they might be traveling to different countries or something like that to represent a certain person in that specific situation, to deal with those kinds of things with that person or with that situation. So for example, they could fly to like, I don't know, I'm just using Bangkok as an example, but they could fly to Bangkok and kind of like pretend to be this innocent kind of touristy person and kind of stumble their way into a special room or a secret room or something and like not really like pretend that they're obtuse or kind of dumb or something like that, but really they're like smart underneath it all and they're kind of like absorbing information from the situation. This person is a really amazing chameleon, and with Scorpion vibes here, this person just has this vibe of like, even though they're kind of impulsive, they are in control of themselves, right? They have this kind of aspect of control. They're always studying characters and human characters. With student here, and I'm seeing this guy reading a book, they could even go so far as reading someone's biography or reading what people have said about a person and tapping into that person's character from there. This person also is not only just a good actor as far as like tapping into the character of people, but with beauty here, they know how to make their looks work to their advantage. They know how to make their looks kind of create the character as well. So they know how to use both the physical and the psychological in order to create characters in their lives. With Sagittarius, this is just reminding me of expansion and philosophical principles. They're also very smart in general, and they do like to travel. I'm trying to see if I see anything else. I think that's mostly the stuff that I'm seeing. They do have a small practical side with money, but like I said, with the denial card, this person might actually be more entrenched and fascinated with the work that they're doing themselves rather than the money that they're making. So I feel like if you're their spouse, you might have, well, you are their spouse because this is a future spouse reading. The thing is, you know, when you guys get married, you might have to tell them like you need to accept money for your work because, you know, that's like a part of your value, right? And they might actually deny that or basically say like, oh no, I don't need that amount of money or something like that. There's something about denial. But for most of you, this is just going to be denial of their essential self. So get ready to be with someone who, you know, it's interesting because authenticity for this person is their career, is their passion in this way, you know? I definitely think that with the first house here, it's in denial. It might be tricky to pin down who this person actually is, and they might even not know who they are themselves. It's like the double agent who kind of plays so many different roles in their life that they don't know who they are. So I feel like for this group, if you've come to this group and you have a strong sense of yourself, or you have a really true, authentic form of yourself, you know who you are, you know what you want, you know your beliefs, all of that good stuff. If you have a strong sense of self with this first house, you know, I'm definitely seeing that like for you, this person be really good for you because they kind of in a way piggyback off of your strong personality, right? They piggyback off of your structure, off of your security and your identity. So I feel like people who chose this group are going to have that strong structure, have that strong identity. Or if you don't, you're going to grow into having that sense of self that, you know, is very, important for this person to be around because this person doesn't really have their own identity. You know, they're so good at adapting. They're so good at kind of being around different people and kind of playing different roles, that they don't really need to have an identity. It works to their advantage to not have an identity, because if they did, they wouldn't be able to adapt so easily. It's just kind of part of their character. It's part of their makeup. It's just who they are. So keep that in mind. This person is a chameleon, and it's going to be they're going to do a job with that kind of chameleon aspect. It's going to play an important feature in their job. I feel like some of them, if they haven't discovered this talent yet, this is going to be for a rare few of you. I feel like a lot of people who are in this pile, or your future spouse, basically, a lot of people who pick this pile, their future spouse is already discovered this talent. They've kind of known it almost since birth. They've kind of just always been this way. So I'm seeing that as kind of the truth here. For some of you, they're discovering this talent later in life. You know, they kind of always never had a strong sense of self, and maybe their parents or relatives notice that they kind of act like their friends after they hang out with them kind of a bit or something like that. But what I'm seeing here is it's like they're really like, once they perfect this and they get the physical components down and the psychological components down of the different characters, I feel like they're gonna, oh man, they're really a strong powerhouse to be reckoned with. Yeah, so definitely someone who's like an actor or a secret agent or a spy or something like that, a double agent, something like that, is going to be really something that this person would be really, really good at. Trying to see what else. Just in general, this person, with their characters and their personas, you can kind of get a view of who they are a little bit because of their impulsive nature and all the fire energy. And the Sagittarius, the first house, it's like lots of fire energy. You know, this kind of person has an impulsive way of jumping from character to character and project to project. So for example, they might, on one hand, really enjoy like working and acting in a film or something like that. But then they really want to take on the next role, right? They really want to take on the next character trait or the next thing that character they want to do. As soon as they wrap up the next one, they're like right into studying the next character. This person's kind of a workaholic in that way. And we see that again here with the 10 of Wands, this kind of strength of work and the fact that they can take on a lot. I see that they kind of probably make so much money that they kind of can deny like payment for some of these jobs. They might do a lot of charity work with their self, or like might even like deal with charities in general. The other thing about this person, interestingly enough, if they are in the secret agent spy, kind of double agent, FBI agent type category, undercover cop type of thing, they're probably not going to be an actor. You know, I think they either choose to be, they either choose one or the other roles. Basically, they choose either entertainment or working in law and stuff like that. Another thing that's coming through with the Venus card right here, this person is really attracted to your physical beauty. There's something about your physicality that they're really, really drawn to. So, and that's interesting for this person because people with this pile might feel they have a very unique look to them, but I'm definitely seeing this person likes that unique look because I feel like this person, it's interesting. It's like, you kind of have to be the brightest bulb in the room in order to kind of like catch their attention. And I'm not saying in like an extroverted way or anything like that, or like a showy way, or kind of like, you know, like an attention hog or attention whore or something like that. You know, it's like, you kind of just have to have this unique sense of self and identity, and this person would be head over heels for you, you know, because they like people who are so strong and can stand in themselves, basically with their own sense of identity, their own values, stuff like that. Okay, I think that's covers the reading about your future spouse's career and finances. Oh, really quick, one other thing. The people you spend the most time with shape who you are. This also applies to their financial situation as well. If they're hanging out with a lot of people who are kind of like well off or wealthy, they will be well off and wealthy. They'll just kind of collect that type of money through osmosis. This person doesn't really have to, like, even though they're a hard worker and their passion is in their what they do, they don't really have to work that hard to achieve wealth, if that makes sense. They kind of come into certain societies with it or other societies without it, you know, depending on what kind of lifestyle they want to live. And the lifestyles they want to live are going to change too. This person, there's going to be a lot of variety. So if you want a person who's a lot of variety, you know, someone who's kind of a different person every day of the week, you know, if you need that kind of variety in your love life, this person's great because you can be committed and still get that kind of variety. So, yeah. If you enjoyed this reading, please like or comment below. If you really enjoyed this reading, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I post pick a cards like this once every 1 to 2 weeks, and we are always welcoming new subscribers here at Cody Tarot. And with that said, that was the last group for today. I really enjoyed reading for you guys. You have a very interesting person on your hands, and I will see you guys in the next pick a card or in the comment section. Bye.